Hey everybody, I'm Benjamin, aka The Terrible Australian at supermarcy.com, and this is my video review of Inside Out, which is the new animated film that's produced by Pixar. So let's get right into it. Now, like anybody else on the planet, I love Pixar. I think they've made some really fantastic and brilliant animated films over the past 20 years, and a lot of them have just been undisputed classics. But unfortunately, though, in the last since Toy Story 3, which was, made my top 5 of 2010, in the last 5 years, I don't know, they kind of went into sort of a bit of a slump, because a lot of the sort of films that sort of came out in between then either weren't really that, even though they were successful, weren't either that well received or that loved. I mean, sort of like Cars 2 is definitely the best example of this, and honestly I thought that film, while it's a beautifully animated film, but at the same time I thought it was definitely my least favourite of the Pixar films, and it just wasn't really, and it was a pretty average film overall, and even though funnily enough, I still haven't seen Brave yet, but at the same time, and it's one I still definitely want to check out very soon, but I sort of never really had that sort of feeling to rush out to see it right away. I mean, it's not to say I won't see it. I will see Brave as soon as I can. It's just that it just didn't seem that great from the looks of things, and based on the reception it got, and from people I know, it's like it's fine, but it wasn't that great. And a lot of people said that it shouldn't have won the Best Animated Feature Oscar. So, and of course, and there was pretty much a little while there where Pixar didn't release. Usually Pixar release a film every year or so, and there was like a 2-year period there where 2-3 year period where Pixar didn't release anything at all. So, oh, actually no, 2 years, because the last film was Monsters University, which was okay, but again it just felt kind of unnecessary and not all that inspired. So other than that, so because of those 3 films, they kind of gone through a slight slump, and so in that regard I was a bit apprehensive, but also at the same time excited for Inside Out, which I hoped could kind of sort of be a return to form for Pixar. And now, having seen the film, I can tell you right now, it absolutely is. I absolutely loved this film. It's definitely, without a doubt, the best film that Pixar has done since Toy Story 3. And I have to say, though, what really surprised me most, besides it being beautifully animated and having great voice work by everybody, and just having a really original story as well, it's such an emotional roller coaster ride, which really surprised me. But Pixar's always been able to do that, with the Toy Story films and Up and a few others as well. But because they know how to pull the heartstrings without it sort of being too sentimental. But to be honest, though, this one even more so, because this film, since it's actually sort of set inside the mind of a young girl, and we're sort of hearing and you have these characters that represent her sort of different sort of emotional states. You got joy, sadness, anger, disgust, and fear, and also that we kind of go on this sort of emotional journey with them, even though we're sort of more focused on these characters, but at the same time we're kind of seeing it from their point of view of this young girl, and how she feels in this kind of new situation of moving from her old town to a new town, and sort of like how she feels, about the whole thing. But at the same time, being, a Pixar film, it just does that in such a beautifully and wonderful way, and also incredibly moving way, that I will admit even though I didn't cry, was a little misty-eyed around the last half of the film, and also the characters themselves, like joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust, who are all wonderfully voiced by Amy Poehler, Phyllis Smith, Lewis Black, Bill Hader, and Mindy Kaling are all wonderful, give all wonderful performances as these characters, and vocal performances, I should say, and they're really wonderful characters, and I just enjoy them so much. Particularly sort of the relationship between joy and sadness, and their sort of like their arcs together as these two characters I found really compelling, and also quite wonderful as well. And also there's another character in the film called Bing Bong, who's voiced by Richard Kind, who's sort of like a former imaginary friend of the human character of Riley that these emotions are inside of. He's absolutely wonderful as well, and he brings a lot to that character and brings some really interesting layers as well. And also the film is just so imaginative, and the way it's sort of like they show these sort of emotional states and sort of memories of this young girl, and it's just done brilliantly. Like, it's just an absolutely wonderful film, and like I said, it might be. I do think some of these sort of emotional aspects might go over some kids' heads, because I remember it was funny when I went to the screening of this film, there was a kid a couple of rows down me, and he was just telling his mum, this movie's too sad, and I can see that it is sad, but I think at the same time though, it is huge. It's not to say that this movie's sad all the time. It is a hugely entertaining film, and very funny as well. There's a lot of humor that both adults and kids are going to love, and also it's just the characters, and also to me it's the characters that make this film work, and I just thought they were all just great and wonderful creations. And like I said, it's just, what can I say? Pretty much every positive review you heard about this film is justified. This is a absolutely terrific animated film, and it's definitely one of the best films I've seen so far this year. Will it make my top 10 of the year? I'm not sure, because, I mean, there's still a lot of films I haven't seen. I mean, there's still a lot of films that are still coming out over the next 6 months, so whether it'll still make my top 10, I'm not sure, but, you know, there's a pretty good chance that it is, and I look forward to checking it out again, for sure, and I'm really happy that sort of Pixar have found their mojo again, and funnily enough, they've got another film of theirs out at the end of the year as well, which I'm looking forward to checking out as well. So overall, Inside Out, wonderful, wonderful stuff. And I forgot to mention Pete Docter, co-wrote and directed this film, and he also previously made Monsters Inc. and Up. So if you love those films, you'll definitely love this one. Just like that, they're both huge. Just like those two films, Inside Out is equally funny and entertaining, but also quite moving as well. So I definitely recommend everyone to check it out. It's definitely one of the best films I've seen so far this year. And so if I had to give Inside Out a rating, I'd give it a 5-star rating. Definitely deserves all of it, and I highly recommend everyone to check it out. And it's definitely one I think that all kids will enjoy as well. And of course, you know, they might, you know, and I think it's an interesting film that, you know, both parents and kids and children will definitely be interested to discuss about. Especially, this is a sort of a very family oriented film in regards to its story, and also how the character of Riley sort of how she deals with her emotions, and how her sort of parents from their point of view see that. And that stuff I've just found really effective and quite moving. So I think, you know, like I said, both parents and children will definitely enjoy this film for sure. For sure, and it'll definitely be one that I think everyone, that, you know, it's one I think it'll be one that that'll be worth discuss. That between parents and children, it'll be one I think they'll be discussing for sure about the sort of the themes and the sort of and ideas of the film. Sorry, I just want to continue on with the review. So, yep, 5 stars for Inside Out. Like I said, I definitely highly recommend it for everyone to check out. So, if you haven't seen it, go see it as soon as possible. So, I hope you all enjoyed my video review of Inside Out. And I'll see you guys all later. See you, everyone. Bye.